Yahtzee. We are live, boys. Welcome in. Anyone watching today, picking up the VOD, or watching it sometime in the future? Hello. You've found us on March 6th, 2023.
Hey!
Just recording episode 20 here, P Cubed podcast. So we're just kicking up, doing our pre-show stuff, kind of going over the um, topics and stuff like that. Fixing our OBSs.
Nate, you got the would you rather?
Oh yeah.
Sweet.
I think I got a good one.
How was it then in AZ?
It was awesome.
Yeah. I gotta
It
come
was
next year,
very
I think.
cold the first day though. That sucks.
Yeah, man, it's
Like 46 degrees.
that's crazy.
So we went from 42 and rainy to 46 and
Dry and
broken
deserty.
clouds. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
We went to I kind of want to recap it on the pod
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
but
yeah.
we went to Goodyear first,
I don't
and
know
then
what that means.
Peoria. Goodyear is a place near Phoenix.
Mm.
It's where the Guardians and Reds play.
Mm.
Lots of blue line flags and MAGA stuff.
Nice.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
You think you would see that at Ohio? I had Skyline chili for the first time. It was really gross.
Is that available in Peoria for the spring training fans, or what is
No,
that?
it's in Goodyear for Cincinnati.
Oh,
It's a Cincinnati chili.
got it. Like similar to Wrigley, how they like bring Chicago stuff to the
Yeah.
facility.
Had a Sonora dog at Talking Stick, which is the best place to watch a game in baseball. Saw all the Rockies pitchers pitching their bullpens right before the game, so I got to watch that for a little while. It was pretty cool. They put a double string on the top end of the strike zone, and double string on the bottom end of the strike zone. And the pitchers were pitching. They had like cameras on a few pitchers, but not all of them. And apparently, like their top prospect, one guy was telling me that their top prospect pitcher, their top prospect catcher were working as a tandem.
Hmm.
That was pretty cool.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Saw Julio 2 days in a row. Saw Kelnick. He looked dead inside, which is great.
Did you see that highlight
The home run.
of the dinger? Yeah.
Yeah. The ball sounds different off his bat this year,
Yeah.
but it's also the first week of spring training.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've been texting about it a lot. You have to not get that excited about it yet, but you can be encouraged by the signs and you can be encouraged by the process. So,
Yeah, Eric was like, don't pay attention to anything the first week.
yeah.
He said the
He wasn't
hitters.
down there with you, was he?
No, just texting. He's like, the hitters are, the ones that were working in the offseason are all locked in, and the
Mm,
pitchers are throwing one pitch over and over and over and over and over again.
yeah.
Like Kirby, it looked like he threw all sliders.
Hmm.
And he
Yeah,
was getting
even
knocked
even
around.
Castillo today looked like he was just going back and forth and back and forth.
Did you see what I want to talk about this on the pod too, so I'll save it.
I'm probably
Yeah,
ready to
I
go.
was-
Brian, do you need some time
Yeah.
to prep the sports predictions of the basketball, or are you in good shape?
I just need to find a game for my lock of the week, which has been fucking terrible lately. Fucking lines out.
Yeah, sorry. I've got tickets unexpectedly. I've got tickets for Kraken tomorrow, and I wouldn't have bumped you guys for it, but it's going to be an opportunity for me to take my dad, so I'm excited about that.
It's all good, man.
St. Mary's at one point was up by 26 in their game against BYU. It's a 5-point game with 1 minute left. Crazy.
College basketball.
At its
Nate,
finest.
Did you tweet the stream?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I got to go that game.
Gah. Man. Ian Happ's going to get such a big contract in Chicago. I wanted him so bad last deadline.
Cubs are gonna be good.
Cubs are going to be all right.
They're gonna be good.
Their division shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but guys, it's the less skewed schedule this year.
That's true.
So
Still 30 games against each division opponent. It's still heavily weighted to division.
that's not true.
Yeah.
It used to
30
be
games
19.
against each.
Now it's less.
19. It was 40.
Nate, 40 against each divisional opponent's your
Or maybe
entire
it's-
season. No,
No,
it
what am I
was
thinking of?
19.
It was 19. Now I think it's 13,
19.
maybe. So you still play your
80
division more
games.
than anyone else, but you don't. It's not as heavily weighted.
There's no way it's 13. That's
Yeah, it is. Because you're playing every team now.
2 road trips and a home series. That's it.
That's 2 of each, dude.
13 games.
This is going to be hard. 4 times 3 is 12, Nate.
Yeah.
So
That's
2
what
of
I just
each,
fucking
Nate.
said.
No, it's not.
So
You said
4 3-game series. is-
4. Oh, I was thinking
3
4-game
3-game
series.
series and 1 4-game series. It's really not that fucking complicated.
That's not enough. That's fucking stupid. They need to fucking baseball.
What the fuck are you talking about? They play them too much anyways.
No, they don't.
Yes,
It should
they do.
only your division is the only thing that should matter.
Um,
They should have kept it at 19 games and then just filled in everything else. But now we play every
Hey,
team
we have
every
a
year.
1-game series against the Chicago Cubs. Isn't that cool?
it
do?
it made sense in football when they had a 16-game schedule, the way that they balanced everything out, because the idea, of course, of the Super Bowl is to make sure you have the best team. You identify the best team every year. So if you first identify the best team in every division and then you let those teams duke it out, eventually you're guaranteed to find the best team every year. It's a little bit different in baseball because you have 5 and 7-game series instead of just a single game. It's like hockey as well. It's not always the best team that wins. It's the hottest.
Yeah, I'm ready now.
I don't think 52 games is enough for the division. I think it should be over a third.
Nate,
Yes.
do you know what a third of 162 is?
54.
Wow. 54.
So you're technically correct, but considering the poor math that you've been doing up
I said
until now,
over a
and
third.
the
Over
flippant
a third.
nature
Fuck
with
off.
which you just said
What's
over
13
a third.
times 4, Nate?
Oh my god.
52.
Yeah.
54 is more than 52, so it's more than a third.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Why are we talking?
We're in public right now. I just need you guys to know that we are currently in public.
I honestly was tuning out the last minute once Nate started doing math, so
I think Nate was too. Let's get this thing done, boys. It's Monday. Let's get it over with.
Well, we need to discuss the show
What do you want to discuss?
on the Hey, what you got? Do you want to talk about the Mariners top 30? I was just throwing stuff in here.
we have to talk John Morant.
Yeah. You want to talk that?
Yeah, I can.
Well,
Especially since he's my Tyson zone.
Oh, good.
Pac-12 expansion. I don't really want to talk about that because it makes me sad.
we got to touch.
I think it's worth bringing up.
No,
today.
we have to talk about it, but
Yeah.
again, it's going to make me sad.
Yeah.
Mama
I'd beat
Blue. I
Brian
don't
for
even
that
know
one
what
too.
I don't even know what Mama Blue is.
I'll tell that one.
So I looking at the timing last week. we spent like 40 minutes on Hey What You Got, which ended up, I think, being really good as we brought up some interesting points. I think this week with Geno's contract, probably we could tilt back a little bit more time wise towards around the sound. So if we don't have as much time in Hey What You Got,
We
I think
went
it's
way
probably
too
fine.
long on Kraken last week. We didn't need to talk
Gotta
that
go
much
get a
about
refill
Kraken.
here, boys.
We talked in circles for like 5 minutes.
None of us have any analysis on hockey, so but we all like want to try, and so we all just say the same thing. So
Mm-hmm.
I think touching them is important, just so we can continue the idea that people that aren't
The
watching
Geno
this
thing
season
is going to
can
be
at least.
easy. It's going to be fast because we don't know any of the details. But we have to talk about it.
We can talk about draft impact. We can talk about long-term planning. There's a lot of stuff we could talk.
Well, I think it's been their plan the whole time. I think they're just going to draft a guy in the 3rd round named Hendon Hooker.
Is that a real
He's
person, or did you just make
yeah,
that
he's
up?
the Tennessee quarterback. He blew out his ACL,
Oh.
so they can sit him a year. He's very talented, and so it's not a big deal. Just bringing another backup, and Hooker can then compete year 2 or year 3, whichever.
Oh man, Brian, did you get me one? Oh God, both of you guys have bevs. I'm stuck in my office with
I have water. I
nothing.
pickled my liver this past 5 days. And I lost like $80 in dice.
And my brother.
What?
Yeah,
I'm going to the Kraken game Thursday with Kyle
Oh,
and my
cool.
brother.
nice.
Nice.
Kyle Mo.
Triple date.
Uh
He said thank you, by the way.
oh, good. Thomas,
Yep.
you're the Seattle Sports Interviews one.
Yeah, I just it's like I did last week, where I like something I saw that I enjoyed that I just wanted to pass along. I don't know if you guys have been watching those, but they're really good, digestible. Alex Scherzer pitch clock, I love it. Mad Max.
Mariners top 30. Do you want to talk about it? It was released today. I mean, that's all it really is.
According to
It's
who? Oh, MLB, like the pipeline.
I just want to see who's in it.
Harry Ford's number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Who
he's
else would it
been.
be?
He was in camp for the first time the other
Belton
day.
Celestine, wasn't that the guy they just got?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's this 17-year-old.
ETA 2027. Cade Marlowe 16. Yeah, I mean, there's no real surprises there. Ford, Miller, Young, Hancock, Celestin. I mean, the fact that it was released today, it gives us excuse to kind of bring it up, so we could touch it. Hey, what you got? I mean, that's what that segment's there for. We don't necessarily need to have something here that we're gonna have like a ton of discussion and debate about.
I'll let you mention about it then, Thomas. How about that?
Sam Carlson's not in it for the first time in 5 years.
I don't know who that is. They announced softball season today,
When does it start?
May 12th,
Oh, my dad's birthday.
and then it goes until July or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss most of August, by the way.
Great.
If not all of August.
I'll play short.
Sweet.
Well, I'm sure since Andrew's back, I mean, you can move Corey over to short and ask David to play third.
What?
What?
I said
Dave-
since Andrew's back, that means
David?
David might come back because Andrew's back.
2 for 1.
I think we got Hot Kyle playing third.
Oh
He
yeah, fuck.
looked fucking good last season. Holy shit.
Yeah.
He
Then
was so not.
Put Corey at short and me in the outfield.
No.
All right.
One of these days you're gonna say yes to that.
I'm still the catcher, so softball catcher. I mean, that's like. Anyway, you guys ready to get into it?
Yep.
Let's get it done. What is going on, sport fans? Welcome into episode 20 of the P Cubed podcast. My name is Thomas Barrett, and I'm here with my buddies Nate Hull and Brian Danello. We're so glad that you're here hanging out with us while we have our weekly look at the Seattle sports landscape. We're just three idiots having a chat, and we desperately need your help to keep us in line. So please reach out with feedback, suggestions, praise, criticism. It's all good. Reach out. You can find the pod on Apple, Spotify, and iHeart. You can tweet us at P3SportsPod, or you can join us live on YouTube while we record at P3SportsPod on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's free and easy, and it helps us out quite a bit. And you can be notified when we go live or when the weekly pod gets posted up. With all that housekeeping out of the way, grab a bev and buckle up. Nate, what is on the agenda this week?
What's up, everybody? Fresh off the plane from Arizona. I'm not as fresh as I should be.
Did you take a shower at least?
No.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, no. That's fine. We'll be okay. Gonna hit the round the sound as always. We'll talk Kraken, Seahawks, Mariners. I saw them twice in Arizona while I was down there. It was pretty fun. Talk Sounders. Starting season 2-0. Hit area college basketball, the ramp up the NCAAs. Sportspredictions.net with Brian. Our all-time favorite. Hey, what you got segment.
Loving it.
I think we have a Tyson zone this week, right, Brian?
Yeah. So
Right.
we're gonna do a Tyson zone of the month starting this month. So first pod we record every month, whereas when we're gonna do our Tyson zone.
I was supposed to have brought one today?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. I'm
got
sure
about
I
an
will by the time we get there.
Yep. I think this one's actually gonna be pretty easy for everyone.
And we'll hit the closing questions at the end. Nate will be doing a Would You Rather, which I think is pretty compelling this week. All right, around the sound. What's cracking with the Kraken?
What's cracking with that face you're making?
You didn't like my surprised face last week, so I was doing a different face.
Yeah. Kraken had a 4-game road trip that actually went 4-0 on it. They played 3 teams that probably aren't going to make the playoffs in Columbus, Detroit, and
Columbus is definitely not making the playoffs.
Columbus, Detroit, and I don't remember who the other one was, but then they played Colorado on Sunday, and they were down most of the game, came back, tied the game late, and won the game in overtime. So they went 4-0 on the road trip. They are in third place in the Pacific Division, tied with Edmonton, but they have 2 games in hand on Edmonton. Most importantly, though, they are 9 games ahead of Calgary for that final
9
playoff
points.
spot. Excuse me, 9 points. Sorry, 9 points. 9 points ahead of Calgary for that final playoff spot. So it's looking pretty good. You got to keep winning. They play Anaheim tomorrow and Ottawa on Thursday.
Yeah, a lot of teams are tanking for Bedard. So, like, there's only one other team.
Eric Bedard?
Yes, Thomas, Eric Bedard.
I think it's Connor.
Connor Bedard.
Man.
Another thing about the Kraken, the NHL trade deadline was last Friday, and they did not make one move. It was kind of surprising, but I guess they are still, since they're young, they're franchise-wide, they're young. They're still trying to think towards the future. They're thinking if they make the playoffs this year, it's going to be a bonus, but they're still thinking towards the future.
That was most of the
listen to some analysis
that I heard. Yeah, was that they would have really liked to have added something in, but just making it into the playoffs this year and getting some experience for the young roster is more important than trying to sell out and try to make a deep run this year. So I can support that. I still would have loved to have seen him make a move. They did add Magna some weeks before the deadline as a bit of a depth move. It is what it is. They're playing better hockey now. 7-7 since the All Star break, and like you guys have said, kind of back in position to being comfortable for the playoffs. So,
Yeah.
who'd you say they're playing on
Yeah.
Thursday, Brian?
Plus, they're playing Ottawa.
Okay, so yeah, Anaheim is third bottom in the
Bad.
division.
Ottawa's
Ottawa's like mid-table on the eastern side, so this is an opportunity to get a couple more wins, maybe climb up the standings a little bit.
Yeah, and I was gonna say something else and I completely forgot what it was.
Wow,
Shit.
great radio. Just something I thought was pretty funny. Just doing a little bit of research today. Preseason odds for Kraken to win the Stanley Cup plus 15,000. That's pretty good. If you got 10 bucks in on that, you're not hating that right now. And then just as another funny note, their preseason over under for points was 81.5. They're already at 78. So it's a team that's
Nice.
performing well past expectations.
And plus, Andre Burakovsky is going to be coming back here in the next couple of weeks. I think Ron Francis, the GM, probably thought that was going to be their big move because he was leading the team in points before he got injured. So I think he is probably what they're considering adding.
Mhm.
It's just someone coming back from injury.
Yep.
That was the point I was going to make.
Nice. Way to bring it back, Brian. All right, we got some Seattle Seahawks news today.
Yes, we
right
do.
before the pod.
You
It was
guys
announced that-
gonna admit that I was right and you guys were wrong?
I didn't even get to tell you what we were talking about.
Yeah,
yet. So
thanks
I'm
for,
going to admit that
for,
you're right.
Yeah, geez, Brian.
Okay, fine. Say it.
You know,
and
you know
then
how
say
in
I was right.
football, when someone scores a touchdown and they act like a fucking idiot, and the announcer's like, "Oh, act like you've been there before." Like, is this like the first time you've ever been right? And so you want praise before we've even covered what it was that you said.
I just want praise because you guys gave me so much shit for what I said, and then I turned out to be right.
Let's hear
I
the
don't
news,
feel like we
Nate,
gave
and then
you
let's
shit
give
on-
Brian his praise.
Announced that Geno Smith signed a 3-year, $105 million deal. Not a lot of details yet about it. We're all really curious about what the numbers will be and what kind of roster flexibility that'll give us. But it's a 35 AAV. It reports that he could earn up to 52 in the first year, which I think is kind of interesting. See what the guaranteed money is plus first year's salary. Hopefully, it gives the team some flexibility. But yes, Brian, you were the only one that thought it was going to go over 30.
Correct. We all thought we were going to get a hometown deal like 27, 28, 29. Brian,
I
you were
still
right.
think 3 at 105 is pretty great.
3 at
Yeah.
105, considering market value, is pretty great, but
Seeing that Carr got 37 this year, you
Over
know,
4 too,
Yeah.
an extra year.
and 100 guaranteed, like that's a pretty dang good deal. I mean, Daniel Jones is going to get 40, right? Like that's insane.
crazy.
So
What,
we'll talk more about it once the details come out. But yeah, I
yeah,
just thought we should drop that
surely
in
we'll
there.
have more next week. Just kind of first thoughts, though. What do you guys think this does for him at the number 5 pick?
I don't think it changes anything.
I
They're
don't
gonna
think
go
it-
defense, offensive line.
I don't think it changes anything either, and they're not an offensive line available at 5. I think that's worth a
No.
number 5 pick.
I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. They weren't going to waste the top picks. They were going to go defense, right? Impact players, and then go offensive line in the second, third round.
Oh,
That's what I'm
gotcha.
thinking. Yeah.
I could see them maybe taking a flyer on a quarterback. You know, I think if Hendon Hooker falls out
That's
of
what
the
I said
third
earlier
round,
to Thomas.
That's what. Yeah, when you were getting your drink, that's what he said.
I could see them taking a flyer on him because he was projected, I think, late first before the injury.
Yeah.
I think if he falls, and he could fall to the third, it's something the Seahawks would consider.
That's the exact round Nate said as
Yep.
well. You guys are
I think
drinking.
if he
the same
falls to third, you
fucking
take him,
Kool-Aid.
let him sit a year, and then while he rehabs. And
I will say I was talking to a buddy today who wanted them to get Dorian Thompson-Robinson. If they draft Dorian Thompson-Robinson, I am never rooting for the Seattle Seahawks again.
I don't even know who that is.
The UCLA quarterback.
Oh. Okay.
No, don't want him. UCLA guys never really pan out.
Except for Troy Aikman.
Yeah, Herbert's terrible. Oh my god, he just froze. That's amazing. We like shit on his point and then he froze.
Like immediately when I said Troy Aikman, you just froze.
That's why I said last 20 years.
Oh,
And
okay.
Troy Aikman started at Oklahoma, so
All right, we back.
I don't count him.
Oh, also, by the way, I said Justin Herbert. In my head, I see him in the light blue of the Chargers, and all I can think of is UCLA. But of course,
He's Oregon.
he was a fucking duck. What a dick.
All right. Seattle Mariners. Yours truly was down in Arizona this last extended weekend, away. And I got to experience the pitch clock for the first time, which I thought was amazing. I think it is a huge improvement.
So one of the points I made last week was just a regurgitation of one of the points John Boy had made about how the in-home viewing experience was going to be dramatically different for broadcast viewers, where the pitch clock was in frame and out of frame. You've now watched some games on TV and you've watched it live. Can you compare contrast?
Yeah, I mean, on TV, it looks like it's in fast forward, right? It's really fast. The cuts are faster. The announcers don't have a lot, like as much space to talk about things. So that was kind of weird. I think they'll figure it out, right? In person, the game just had a real consistent, nice flow.
Nice.
Like you knew that every break was going to be 2 minutes and 30 seconds. You knew that every new batter was going to be 30 seconds. You knew that every pitch was going to be within 15 seconds. Like it was great. The first game we saw was 2 hours and 15 minutes because there was like hardly any scoring, and it was like a rocket ship, man. And the new bases, you can't even tell. I couldn't even really tell that they were any different.
No, they're 3 inches bigger, and you're like 400 feet away. What did you think they were going to look like?
No, I mean, like one person in our group was like, "Oh man, those bases are so wild looking." I was like, "Dude, I can't even tell. Like, what are you talking about?"
Did you see it? Did you see any weird stuff with the shift?
No,
Like, did
not
you
in
see
any of
any?
our games. No, that was against
That was
Joey
Gallo.
Gallo. They moved the left fielder over or whatever. I got to talk to Vaught, the new bullpen coach. Isn't it Vaught?
Vote.
Sorry, Vaught. Whatever.
Oh, the
He's
Oakland A's.
very nice. He chatted with us for a bit.
Was he just wandering around?
No, the bullpen in Talking Stick is open. Like there's, it's not like imagine the rail at the Mariners games, but you're like looking down instead of looking level, right? And he was engaging. I just said, "Hey, I'm really glad you're here. I'm really excited to see what you do as a coach and see where you go." And he's like, "I'm really excited to be here, and the fans are great, and this has been a really great experience so far." And
Yeah, cool.
what I didn't realize is during spring training games is all the pitchers that are going to pitch that day are in the bullpen, and so they are doing work in and around all game with the coaches and stuff. They're like working on bands or doing stretches,
and then they just pop in the game and then pop back.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah. So that was a pretty cool thing to see, like how they managed that. And they had the backup catchers were in the bullpen too, and so they were getting work with the pitchers that they were going to face. It's actually a really, really interesting, neat idea. Saw Jared Kelenic, and the ball just sounds different this year. And I mean, I know it's a short sample size in the first week of spring training.
Let's play The Price is Right on Kelnick's OPS. Nate, you want to go first?
What it is currently?
Yeah.
Isn't it like 1,500?
Brian?
Oh, did we lose Brian?
Yeah, maybe we did. Man,
I'm still here. I'm still here. It's just super choppy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, it's just super choppy right now.
What do you think Jared Kelnick's OPS is right now?
Well, I saw the text message you sent, so
I guess I did send it to both of you, and now I'm trying to catch you in live time to surprise you with a number. So that's pretty boring. Yeah, 1530, guys. That's insane. So, Nate,
Actually, rewind. Lead into it. Just say like, oh, I just wanted to highlight that Kelnick's OPS is
mm.
1530. Then talk about the homer.
Yeah, speaking of Kelnick, real quick, obviously we know not a lot of conclusions to draw in the first week. Um, Friend of the pod, mystery former player, specifically said, guys, don't. There's first week, stop it. His OPS right now is 1530, which, you can ignore that OPS number in the first week all you want, but that's an enormous number. I don't know if you guys saw that dinger he hit off Devin Williams. And yes, okay, pitchers are working on stuff, hitters are working on stuff, but I can't remember the last time I saw a home run to straightaway center field where the center fielder didn't bother moving.
Yeah, that
Usually
was
those
crazy.
clips are like a pull side corner outfielder, and I cannot remember the last time I saw a center fielder just not even turn around. It was
Yeah, that ball was still going up when it went over the center fielder's head. Like,
that's man. Um, so no conclusions, but he's looking pretty good. His process is looking good. His methods are looking better. So we talked about it last week. If he can just be Michael Saunders 2012, we'll be happy.
I
yeah,
mean, yeah, it's, don't draw any conclusions, but you still would rather him do what he's doing now
yes,
than what he was doing, in
Of
the regular
course.
season last year.
Did you guys see the text I sent about potentially hitting him up high and what that
no,
might do for the righty lefty? You didn't see, or you did see and you hate it?
I saw, and I don't think it's going to happen.
Hmm.
Not to
I
start
th-
the year, but I mean, if he
yeah, I
has
think
a good start, he definitely will move up fast.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's 7 or 8 to break camp, but it's one of the difficulties of the lineup right now is Julio, France, Geno, Teoscar, Murphy, Pollock. These are all right-handed hitters. You only have Wong, Crawford, Kelnick as lefties, and Raleigh as a switch. So
yeah, they
it's
went Wong, Julio, France, Teoscar, Suarez when I saw them.
yeah, and that's great. But you're going to bat JP ninth. So if you have your
Hmm.
lefties 1 and 9, then you're hitting them back to back when you cross over, and
Yeah,
so that's kind of Nate. I know you love interspersing them in there, but anyway, potentially,
I
if
could,
Kelnick's playing well enough to potentially have him in a 3 hole or something, you can go right, right, left, right, switch right, left, right, left, or I don't know. That's more than 9. Whatever, cut it out.
I could see them actually breaking camp. Julio hitting lead off, Wong hitting second. Just
yeah, they've
like you
done that a couple
said,
times already.
yeah, just to go left, right, left with Crawford hitting nine.
And then
Um,
France 3,
I,
Teoscar 4, Raleigh 5, Suarez 6.
something like
The
that. Yeah.
Right,
the second
left.
game rally was the cleanup that I saw.
That's
I
right,
don't
left,
think
right, switch, right, left, or something like that. I don't know.
it sounds too much like the Foxtrot.
All right, Seattle Sounders FC, second game of the year. More stuff being repeated from the first game. It was a real exciting. The attack looked fresh. Um, they're the modified. I'm saying this, and I'm probably you can correct me if I'm wrong, Thomas.
Oh, I
But
will.
like the having the 3-man back like static, without having Nuhu go forward a lot and having Alex, on one side and Morris on the other. Like it seems to be just hard to manage right now.
So formationally, it's a 4-2-3-1. So they played the same 11 as they played for Matchday 1 with no changes. I mean, why would you make any changes? So it's not a 3-man back line, but only one of the 4, Alex Roldan, has the freedom to go forward. And so effectively, you've got your 2 big central defenders and your hyper athletic left defender, or more or less always staying back in the defensive shape. And then the midfielders, instead of having to constantly worry about which wide defender is forward and changing the midfield shape accordingly, they only have to tilt to one side. So what you have now is your best runner, your best winger is on the left, and your outside defender that's going forward is on the right. And so you're creating problems on both sides of the field. And I think that's why you saw for a second week, more or less all the service, all the dangerous goal opportunities came from service from the wide areas. That ball that Alex Roldan played in from the right wing to Morris, I am not overstating this. There is no player in the world that could have played a better pass in
Hmm.
because it was perfect. It was inch perfect right to his one attacking player that was between two defenders with pace, with swerve. It put the goalie in an awkward position. Like, it was perfect. No one in the world could have done better. It's 2 weeks in a row he's been sick too. He was getting forward. He's the guy that hit the crossbar in like the second minute of the game in week one. I think, did he have 2 assists in week one? He definitely had
Hmm.
2 assists in week two. He's just starting the campaign on fire. He's really, really, really good. Made the team of the week this week for match day too.
A lot of really great combo play. Also, the ability for Nuhu and Yamar to, break the lines and distribute the ball has really been interesting. Having Reagan in the center just as that calm piece has worked really well. Some of the passing in this game was really, really on point. It really shows they're like they came into the season in top form. Obviously the
Mm-hmm.
Club World Cup helped with that. And um, I mean, one thing that kind of made me bummed out is Nuhu and Yamar got into it at the end of the game for something they really haven't talked about it much, but it's passion and that's
It's
good. But
it's
I'm kind of getting over it.
one of my issues with Nuhu is he's so demonstrative on the field, and we know
Hmm.
athletes, they operate hot. It's like little things can boil over, but like you can't be like that with your teammates all the time.
I don't know if you saw it, but did you see JP's face? He like rolled his eyes as he turned.
That's
It was
funny.
so funny. But today they announced a Nuhu extension.
Oh, I don't think it's announced yet. I think it's still
Oh,
rumored. And I mean, it's done, but I don't think it's been
hmm
officially announced. The details that we've heard is that he's signed an extension through 2026, which will be his age 28, 29 season. This is a young guy that has been in the organization for a long time, who I think at one point had aspirations in playing in other leagues in the world, and for some reason or another, the transfer just hasn't materialized. So um, you take the stability, right? We're now 4 years away from the next World Cup, so uh, there's not a lot of risk for a player like that who plays nationally for Cameroon to be hidden in the American professional league. He could play here for 2 or 3 more years, have a solid campaigns, and then if for some reason he need more exposure, he could look for that European transfer after a couple of years to make sure that he's visible for the coaching staff in the next World Cup cycle. But if he's happy here, we'll take him. Nate, to your points this week and last week, he looks really comfortable in the back line, and the team
hmm
looks really, really solid with him there.
yeah. Area college basketball with Brian. Brian, what you got?
Yeah, it
Wrong,
is the
wrong segment, Nate.
Wrong segment.
it is conference tournament week. So we had Eastern make the Big Sky tournament as the number 1 seed, and they lost in the first round of the Big Sky tournament on a buzzer beater to Northern Arizona. So they are out. They're not going to make the NCAA tournament. They are going to be in the NIT. Like I said a couple weeks ago, if a conference champion doesn't win their league tournament, then they're automatically invited to the NIT.
What did they
So
start in conference? 16-0,
16-0,
and then they
and they've
lost
lost.
like
They've lost their
three.
last 3 in a row. They lost their last 2 conference games, and then they lost to the 8th seeded Northern Arizona Lumberjacks.
Oh, fucking
So
Dikembe
yeah,
Mutombo style.
it was a rough end to the season for Eastern, but their season's not over because they're going to be in the NIT.
Yep.
Gonzaga is playing as we speak in the WCC semifinals. Uh, they're playing San Francisco. San Francisco usually gives them a good game, but Gonzaga pulls it out. The winner of that game will play St. Mary's. St. Mary's had a 26-point lead over BYU in the first semifinal. BYU came all the way back, cut it to 5. St. Mary's ended up winning by 7. So St. Mary's in the WCC championship. Hopefully they play Gonzaga tomorrow in round 3 of the best basketball rivalry on the West Coast, which I've been saying pretty much every episode for the last month. So pretty excited if Gonzaga can get it done to see round 3 and to see who both teams won on their own floor. And so this is the best of 3 here. Big news in WSU women's college basketball. The WSU women's team won 4 games in 5 days to win the Pac-12 tournament. They were a 7 seed in the Pac-12 tournament. They are the lowest seed to have ever won a Pac-12 tournament. They beat second seeded Utah, who was number 4 in the country.
Dang.
And then they beat 2 more top 20 teams in Colorado and UCLA in order to get the win. So it's pretty cool that WSU knows they're going to the tournament, and now they're just going to see where they're going to be seated. Right now, it's looking in the 6 seed to 7 seed range, so they'll be a higher seeded team for the first time ever. Also, with the conference tournament win, it is the first time in 21 years that a Washington State sports team has won a conference championship in any sport.
Really?
Wow.
Really, yes. The last time that WSU won a conference championship was football in 2002 when I was a junior in high school.
You said Washington State, capital W, capital S.
I
Washington
took that
State.
as
State
Washington State schools.
Yeah.
What? This is the first time
Washington State University.
Washington State University.
Yeah.
This is the first time the Cougs
There we
Cougs.
go.
have
Go
won a
Cougs.
conference championship in any sport since 2002 with the
Yeah,
football
go
team.
Cougs.
So it's
That's cool.
pretty cool. Clay Thompson also gave a shout out to the women's team after their win yesterday. So it's nice to see he's still paying attention. For the Pac-12 men's,
I wonder how many of our 20 episodes have gone by without Brian mentioning Clay Thompson.
I'd say less than 50%. Easy. I bring him up a lot. He's the most famous Coug alum out there right now. Other than me, of course.
Okay.
Men's conference tournaments start this week. WSU, the Cougs, Washington State, with their 6-game winning streak, actually moved all the way up to 5th in the conference. So they are playing the 12th seed California Golden Bears in the first round. They've already beat Cal twice this year. Cal's dog shit, so they should be able to get that done. And then if they win that game, they will play Oregon in the next round, who they have already beaten once this year as well. Actually, they might have beaten them twice, but they've definitely beat them once. UW is the 8th seed in the Pac-12 tournament, and they will play Colorado in their first round game in the 8-9 matchup. And that game is going to be early. That game that's the first game on Wednesday. So they play all 4 first round games on Wednesday. I think that game starts at like 11 or 12. UW seems like the kind of team that getting up early in Vegas is going to be a struggle for them. So I don't think they're going to do very well in this tournament. I think they're going to be one and done.
Go Cougs.
Thomas, you have a confused look on your face. What's that for?
What is it about the UW men's college basketball team that gives you the impression that they're the type of team that wouldn't do well in a morning game in Las Vegas?
I can't say on the podcast.
Okay.
No, it just seems like they're the kind of guys that'll party all night long. They're freshmen. Most of their best players are freshmen. Their
And
2
the coach
starting
has
guards.
no control of the team.
2 starting guards are freshmen. So I think the guards are going to struggle. I'm going to be very interested to see how they do.
All right.
But if UW does win, they will play UCLA in the second round.
Well, thanks. We'll be right back with sportspredictions.net.
Yeah, I definitely heard myself say twat too.
That's okay. I've said worse.
I interviewed Gunner for some predictions.
I'd love it.
I don't think you can play the audio.
No, I'm gonna splice it in.
I love
But
it.
I want
Are you going
Brian
to
to
give me
hear it.
his predictions and then have me predict the same things?
Sure.
No, it's all Mariner stuff that we're gonna do like in a
Oh, it
preseason
is?
special probably.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know if it was Mariner stuff or if it was
No, just
like
Mariners.
conference tournament stuff.
Nah,
No, just
do,
Mariners.
Do whatever you want with it, Nate. I trust you.
No, I'm just gonna splice it in. I want to like.
All right.
All right, we're here with Gunnar Elder. We have some Mariners picks. We're here at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. Gunnar, you have a couple bets you want to put out here. What was the first one? Over under Mariners wins. 95. 95, all right.
I said
And then you
87
wanted
and a
to pick
half.
A couple pitchers bets, right? What was that?
Kirby and Gilbert both are going to go over 200 Ks, but Kirby is going to have 215 to Gilbert's 213. These are also wishes of mine.
All right, and then I have a question for you. Jared Kelnick, over under 19 home runs.
Definitely over, going 35 home runs, and I'm going to give you the Ribby total.
Oh,
Over 100, and a 205 average,
so he's basically Joey Gallo.
or the modern day Rob Deere.
All right, friend of the pod,
God.
Gunnar Elder.
Shout
Thank
out,
you.
Gunnar.
Nice.
It's so funny.
95?
I told him I would interview him when he was drunk. So I'll just like at the end of your thing, I'll say we have a guest appearance in the predictions for some Mariners picks. Gunnar Elder.
You want me
And
to
then-
make those picks as well? Or do you
I
just-
think what it'll do is just pause and then we can react briefly to it, like a minute.
But we just did.
Yeah.
I
lost
wanted
his
Brian
last-
to
Just
hear
played it
them.
for us, and we just reacted to it.
I wanted Brian to hear it for him, or I could figure it out. Whatever.
Pull your finger out of your ass.
Welcome back, everybody. Sportspredictions.net. What's the email, Brian?
Email is oursportspredictions@gmail.com. So if you want us to pick any other sport other than college basketball, NFL, NBA, baseball when it's coming up, anything like that, happy to do it. We got some conference tournaments this week. The major conference are starting on Wednesday. They will run through Sunday, so it's going to be pretty hectic week of college basketball, which is good for us. We love these major college games between two teams either that are on the bubble or two teams that are fighting to improve seeding. So it's going to be a really fun week starting on Wednesday. There's going to be high level basketball from now until the first part of April. Looking forward to it.
Oh yeah.
We've got all of our major conferences, all of our predictions for who's going to win the tournament, who is a dark horse to win the tournament, someone that's usually seated 5 or lower in the conference that we think has a chance to win it, and then predictions on who we think is going to not just win it but actually make the championship game. So, for example, in the SEC, we have Alabama over Texas A&M. So it's something like that. So going back to last week, man, our lock of the week has been a little bit of a struggle lately. Lock of the week last week was our worst pick of the week. We picked Maryland to beat Ohio State. Maryland was a 1-point favorite. They ended up losing by 11. So it was not ideal for us. Our best pick, though. What?
Every time you look down to read, your audio tails off. So like hold it up in front of you so you don't have to look down so you can speak into the microphone.
Yeah, can you act like you're on the toilet and just like...
Got it. It's over here now.
Yeah. So yeah.
Where do you want me to start?
Should we just start over? I can do the
I think
intro
we
again.
should start over. Yeah.
I didn't look down that much. I only looked down at my paper when I started talking about my worst pick. All right.
Okay.
Fucking
Worst pick, then.
fucking slave driver over here.
All right. I'll do it again.
Welcome back, everybody. Sportspredictions.net with Brian.
Yep. email oursportspredictions@gmail.com. Great week for us here in the next week. We got all of the college basketball conference tournaments coming up. We've got our major conferences, SEC, ACC, Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12, Big East, all of the conferences that have put the majority of teams in the NCAA tournament. All their conference tournaments start on Wednesday pretty much, run through Sunday, right up to Selection Sunday, which is the 12th, so a week from yesterday. Favorite week of the year for us. It's just a lot of high-quality basketball starting on Wednesday for 5 straight days. On the website, we've got who we think is going to win each major conference tournament. Not only who we think is going to win, but who the championship game is going to be. For example, Alabama over Texas A&M in the SEC championship. Also, who we think is going to be a dark horse who could make it. Usually they're seated 5 or lower. Really wanted to put WSU in the Pac-12, did we? Go take a look. But it was a lot of fun for us to put it together. This is, like I said, favorite part of the year. And then it's only going to ramp up next Sunday once the actual bracket comes out. As far as last week goes, lock of the week was another struggle. Worst pick. We picked Maryland over Ohio State. Maryland was a 1-point favorite, ended up losing by 11 to Ohio State. So I think that's our 3rd loss in a row for lock of the week. So it's kind of becoming an unlock of the week, I guess. Our best pick was thanks. Best pick was Kentucky over Arkansas. Arkansas was a 4.5-point favorite. We picked Kentucky not only to cover but win outright. They did. They ended up winning by 9. Arkansas's defense is a mess right now. That's been their calling card all season. In the last few weeks, it has just been absolutely terrible. And so that is why we went Kentucky. It was pretty comfortable for us. Kentucky was up the whole way. Lock of the week. We don't have a lot of lines yet because we're recording this on Monday and most of the games start on Wednesday. We do have one lineup because the ACC tournament actually starts tomorrow, Tuesday. So Georgia Tech, Florida State is our game we're picking. Georgia Tech is a 1.5-point favorite, and we are picking them to cover that 1.5 points. Florida State is actually only like 9-21 this year. They are not very good. They're the last place team in the conference. How they beat Miami, who is the number 1 seed in the ACC tournament, we will never know. But that is our pick: Georgia Tech over Florida State. So go check out the website where we have, like I said, all of our conference championship predictions. We have NBA games as well. We're going to be putting up in the next week our predictions for baseball, who we think is going to make the playoffs, who's going to be the MVP, Cy Young, Rookie of the Year, those kind of things. So that'll be up in the next week or so. So go take a look.
Well, thanks, Brian. We have a surprise guest predictor. Is that what we should call it? Friend of the pod, Gunner.
Prognosticator.
Oh, nice. Friend of the pod, Gunner Elder. He was here with me in Arizona. And we will play you his predictions right now. We'll have a quick reaction to him. All right. You heard them. Somewhat interesting picks. How do we feel about Mariners' 95 wins?
No.
Under?
I set the over-under at 87.5.
I'll take it over 87.
I'll take over 87.5. I think 95 is a stretch. But could you see him being 5 games better this year than they were last year?
Yeah.
I mean, I could.
Full season
I don't
of
think
Castillo,
it's going to happen.
Full season of Kirby. Yeah.
I think they're going to win 90 games for the 3rd year in a row.
And it seems like the inebriation took over the other 2 guesses. But what do we think on 200 plus Ks for each Gilbert and Kirby?
No,
I
don't think
Gilbert
they're going to get enough.
Getting there, but
I don't think they're going to get enough innings, especially Kirby. I don't think he's going to get enough innings to get 200 Ks.
Agree. I think they both could be up around 9 Ks per 9. And I think potentially you could see Gilbert crack 200 innings this year if he's able to stay healthy. But I don't think Kirby's going to get more than what did Gilbert get last year? 183.
Yeah,
that's
right around there.
That's where Kirby's going to be this year. So I think he's over on both. But I love the enthusiasm.
And then
he has to be kidding. He has to be kidding with that last one, right?
He was really bullish on Kellenic, but he was like really pushing the 205 average thing. But I mean, for us, over under 19 home runs, what do you think?
I think over 19.
I'm gonna say under.
Yeah, I'm thinking under.
I don't think he's gonna get enough at bats, and I don't really know why. Because he probably should, because he's the left-handed split of the platoon, so he should get more of the playing time. But I still don't think he's going to get to 19. I think he's going to be close. I think he's going to get probably to about 16.
How many games do you think he'll see?
125.
I was going to say 100.
Nate, you think he's going to get 125 games and he's not going to hit 19 dingers? I think if he doesn't hit 19 dingers in his first 124 games, he's not starting at 125th.
He did play right field with Pollock in left and Teoscar DHing the first game I saw. So that was quite interesting.
I mean, I think they're gonna do that every once in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't want they want to make sure Teoscar stays fresh the whole season.
And
So
you don't
I
want
think
him playing outfield.
He's
He's
can't
not
be
much
worse.
better than Jesse Winker.
No, he can't be worse than Winker.
It's an adventure.
All right.
But yeah, that was a little fun.
Thanks,
Fun
Gunner.
from Arizona.
That was fun.
Thanks for entertaining us. Yeah, friend of the pod.
I will say I will not be hiring him to make predictions.
He won't get on the payroll.
No.
We'll be right back with Hey, what you got? It's funny. Fucking Gunner.
Oh man.
You want
I
us to
can't
roll?
believe you made me redo that whole thing.
Oh, it was I don't know. I just like to have the audio sound good. It sounded like this. Hey everybody.
Is that better or worse than the fact that you got out of your chair? And thanks for wearing pants, by the way. And
Yeah,
fetched
how do
another
you
beverage.
even know? How do you even know that you were gone for the first 90 seconds? Are those wireless?
Yeah.
Oh. Thomas, your ears wireless?
These are the Bose like noise cancelers, so they could be wireless, but I'm a lazy bastard, so they're wired.
Okay. Do we want to lead off with the Mariners top 30 or
Yeah, I can skip through it pretty quickly,
Okay.
I think.
Cool. Sweet. Right. Do you want to talk about the Tyson Zone with John Morant now or later? We're just gonna have a Tyson Zone section.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
cool.
already, I think, running a little bit long, so I don't need to talk about John Morant here.
No, maybe that's a good idea. Talk about it in the Tyson Zone.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Sweet. Welcome back, everybody. My favorite section. Hey, what you got? So, Thomas, what you got?
Just really quickly, want to mention the top 30 prospects for the M's came out today. I'm not an analyst for baseball. I don't know a lot about what's going on, but it's interesting to see when these rankings come out and kind of who's coming up. The farm system is a little depleted compared to where it was a couple of years ago. Obviously, graduating a number of players and making the trade for Castillo last year depleted it quite a bit. But there's some good young players coming up. So just real quick, if you want to know, right now, starting from 1, it's Harry Ford, Bryce Miller, Cole Young, Emerson Hancock, and Felton Celestin. So pretty interesting to see there the Mariners' last 2 first-round picks, as well as their highly touted international youth signing from this year, all in the top 5. And if you want to know how important it is to have a good farm system, I'm just going to read to you the top 10 players from the Mariners farm system in 2021. Can you guys tell me if you recognize any of these names? Number 1, Jared Kelenic. Jerry's out. Number 2, Julio Rodriguez. He's pretty good. Number 3, Ouch. Emerson Hancock was number 3 in 2021, and he's number 4 in 2023. Not a good sign. Moving on, number 4, Logan Gilbert. He's pretty good. Number 5, George Kirby. He's pretty good. 6, Taylor Chamel. 7, Cincinnati Red, Noel Marte. Number 8, Cal Raleigh. He's pretty good. Number 9, Juan 10, and number 10, Brandon Williamson, also now with the Reds. So yeah, anyway, if you enjoy the prospect rankings and you're interested to see what's going on for the rest of the Mariners, top 30 got released today. Nate, what do you got?
I don't know if everybody saw, but one of the Seattle Seahawks super fans, Mama Blue, passed away yesterday, and she was one of the original season ticket holders for the Seahawks. Been a fixture in the stadium for years and years and years, and you would see her walking around and stuff. Again, she's very, very nice. But I just want to point that out, that she'll be missed, and it's always sad to see the old ones go away. But hopefully, some new fans will come in and take her spot. But yeah, rest easy, Mama Blue. Back to Thomas. What do you got?
If you guys enjoy Mariners players, if you enjoy small, digestible bits of content, I just want to mention, for those of you that aren't aware, so Brock and Salk last week were in Peoria, and they did a lot of, kind of 12 to 15-minute interviews with players and coaches when they were walking by. And slowly over the last, week and a half or so, they've been releasing them on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel. I think they're really good interviews. I'm not a consistent listener of their program. I don't really enjoy listening to them while I drive to work in the morning. They kind of drive me nuts, but I just wanted to mention, for those of you that are gobbling up all the Mariners content in the spring training, they're really good interviews. You get a good look at some of the personalities of the guys. The Kelnick one was really interesting. Cal Raleigh and Logan Gilbert were back-to-back, and they were hilarious. And then DePoto had, of course, a really good interview. So if you guys want some more Mariners content, take a look for that on YouTube. Brian, what do you got?
Some sad news for me and for people who enjoy college sports on the West Coast. This Pac-12 media deal is becoming an out-and-out disaster. George Kliavkoff, the Pac-12 president, Pac-12 commissioner, basically, he was dealt a losing hand from the beginning from outgoing Commissioner Larry Scott with this whole media deal. They never really got a hold of it with the one that Larry Scott signed years ago because of the whole thing with DirecTV. Pac-12 Network and DirecTV could never agree to terms, so the Pac-12 Network was never on DirecTV, and it cost schools revenue. Now USC and UCLA are leaving for the Big Ten next year. The media rights deal for the Pac-12 is up, and no one knows what they're going to do. Everything is on the table right now, except for one thing. They are not going exclusively streaming, which is good because that actually was discussed as an option, and I would be very sad if that happened. So I'm glad that's not happening. But there's, constant conference realignment chatter now. The conference, the Big 12 is talking about poaching the Four Corner schools, Utah, Colorado, and the Arizonas. Also talking about poaching the Arizona schools as well as Oregon and Washington. And where does this leave my beloved Washington State University? Well, it sounds more and more like
Up shit creek.
If the Pac-12 does dissolve, then they could be going to the Mountain West, which is not where I want to see them, along with Oregon State. I mean, those are the two lowest revenue drawing schools for the conference. Stanford and Cal can probably go independent, and they would be fine. But the conference is still considering adding schools. Right now, the most likely ones I'm hearing are San Diego State and SMU.
Barf.
San Diego State.
Tulane came out as a rumor also.
That would be terrible and so would SMU, because at least with San Diego State, you're still on the West Coast. You're still on the Pacific Coast, right? So you're going to get a little bit of that Southern California market back that you're losing with USC and UCLA. The team that I would like to see them add is UNLV, they already have their headquarters in Las Vegas. They already have their Pac-12 championship football game and their Pac-12 championship basketball tournament in Las Vegas. So it makes logistical sense. Boise State is not an option because they're not they're not high enough academically to join the conference. Other schools that are an option, Fresno State is an option. SMU, like I said, but then you're going too far east for me for that. SMU, they're considering because of the Dallas market. Granted, the Dallas market probably is heavy either Texas or Texas A&M, so that wouldn't move the needle that much. I think the best two schools for them are San Diego State and UNLV.
Yeah, for those of you that are following this or want to follow it a little bit more, there's a couple of local guys to some of the schools that really do a fantastic job of reporting, John Canzano and John Wilner. So if you want some more information on that, look up some of the stuff from those two guys. They really are plugged into what's going on.
Yep. Yeah, so back in the 70s, UW, the University of Washington, pulled WSU into joining the conference. Like, they basically said, we're not going anywhere without them, which was kind of cool. I hope they could do that again wherever they go, but it's not likely. I think UW and Oregon are joining either the Big 10 or the Big 12, and they're going to leave their state schools behind. And you guys know, everybody who listens to the podcast know, I hate UW. I would not blame them at all. Because the Pac-12 is a sinking ship. If you can grab a lifeboat, take it. I mean, WSU would if they could.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
It's just an unfortunate situation. I don't blame USC and UCLA for leaving. I think it's weird that they joined the Big Ten, which is now literally in New Jersey and California. That seems a little weird to me. But it's still, I don't blame them for going. There's so much more money with the Big Ten media deal that they have with Fox. The SEC's got their deal with ESPN. The Big 12 and the Pac-12 were kind of in that who is going to get their deal first. And since the Big 12 got it first, it's leaving the Pac-12 kind of in scramble mode right now, trying to get the same. Basically, the Pac-12 at this point is trying to get the same deal as the Big 12, and they're not going to get it. And so that's why I think the schools like UW and Oregon and the Arizona schools are probably going to jump ship and join the Big 12. So, sad news, but it is what it is. Hey, Nate, what you got?
Got a little pitch clock thing I saw Max Scherzer do, and like I said, I had a couple games during spring, and the pitch clock is a real neat improvement. So Max Scherzer took the full amount of time. He was like ready to go at 20 seconds left. The batter was in the box and just sat there and stared at the batter. As the batter called his one and only timeout, Scherzer did not step off at all and was ready to pitch like the second the batter put his left foot down on the inside the box. And I think it's an interesting game that might start being played with the pitch clock, and I think it's going to be an interesting wrinkle to this whole thing. There's been a few pitch clock violations, and I think that's going to go away pretty quick. But this could be a really fun like game that the pitcher plays with the batter and vice versa. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Scherzer has been at both ends of the spectrum of the pitch clock, trying it on the quick side, trying it on the slow side, and just kind of fiddling to see what's possible. So it's pretty fun to watch him in spring training.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, he was the one that was doing the pitcher pitch comm last week as well.
Mm-hmm. Right on.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We'll be right back with closing questions.
You know what I just thought of that we haven't brought up? This isn't the first time Verlander and Scherzer have been on the same team.
They're in the Nationals, right? No.
Tigers.
The Tigers.
Do you remember who else was pitching on that team?
Justin Smoke.
Pitching.
Doug Fister.
Who was the guy who won the Cy Young a couple years ago for Boston? Porcello. He was on that team.
Oh, wow.
And they had another pitcher too. That 2000, I think it was what, 2006?
Galarraga, whatever.
That's insane.
Well, Scherzer
Like
was super young.
Scherzer was young, Verlander was young, but
They're the
still.
same fucking age.
Well, they were young back then, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we were all younger back then.
Thanks, Thomas.
You're
All
welcome.
right, we're gonna do Would You Rather, then Tyson Zone, then random question, or
Yeah.
Tyson Zone. Okay. Ooh. Ready?
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. Closing questions. I have the Would You Rather this week.
Hey,
And
Nate,
came
can you start
to-
over? As soon as you moved your mouth away from your microphone, your audio
I
quality was
can.
really
Yeah,
poor.
no problem. Fucking cunt. Welcome back, everybody. Closing questions segment. I have Would You Rather this week. It came to me during my time watching the Spring Training Mariners games. It is live or in person, would you rather?
I like this.
Yeah. So I got a couple things to ask, okay? So, first set is whether or not you would want to watch this live or on TV. Okay? So,
Whose house am
NFL.
I
I don't know.
My
Wherever you
house,
wanna be.
Thomas.
at? Oh, in
You're-
person.
All right. NFL, live or on TV?
TV.
Are the tickets free from my boss?
Oh, God damn it.
Oh, what? You do this all the fucking time, Nate.
I have.
Do you want to go to the game or not? Whether or not it's free or whatever.
TV.
I am also TV. I think the NFL live product is shit. And I
And
think
it's
dealing with the fans
cold,
is awful.
and the people are terrible, and the beer is expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, I
TV.
think they do a really, really fantastic job on TV. Okay. Major League Soccer, live or on TV?
Live.
Neither.
Live.
Thanks, Brian.
It's a digestible amount of time. You know, you're going to be in and out of the stadium in 2:20.
Yeah.
The traffic after the game is inexplicably terrible, so you have about 20 minutes of pain after the game, and it's not that bad. But yeah, live every time.
I think the opposite is true for the MLS as it is for the NFL. Is that the live experience is special in MLS. You're not dealing with shitty fans. It's a, like I said, it feels like, high school football to me, right? Like, it's just a lot of fun.
Well,
For me, looking at the box score the next day. That's how I want to do it. And I'm not kidding. I just that's just
You're
It's not
one
for
of those
everybody.
elitist.
No. If I just never got into soccer. I'm not an elitist. Like, if you like it, go by all means. It's just not a sport that I ever got into.
All right. NHL, live or on TV?
Oh, live.
Live. I think we're all live. I think
Yeah.
you can just see the game a lot better.
The only people that say TV are people that have never been to a hockey game at any level.
Yeah, I was actually saying this to a buddy of mine last week. I was at a minor league hockey game a long time ago, and I was amazed at how much those skaters, like how talented they are, how fast they were going. You go to an NHL game, and it's just another world from that. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's embarrassing that minor league hockey is a better in-stadium experience than pro football.
Yeah.
I would disagree with that. But the beer's cheaper. I mean, for me, I like going to NFL games more than minor league hockey games.
Okay. Major League Baseball.
Live.
Live.
So I would have said, if you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said TV. I like going and spending time with friends. It's a challenge to watch the game sometimes
Yeah.
when it's going to be 3.5 hours, right?
No.
And
Not for me.
And now it's easy to pay attention with the way the game flows with the pitch clock. And I think the MLB made the live experience way better.
I think it's different for me. My happy place is literally having the scorecard and keeping score and having a bag of sunflower seeds and having 2 beers.
That's
I
great.
literally would do it by myself. I did it by myself.
How many hands do you have? You can handle a scorecard, seeds, and 2 beers?
Well, the seeds are on the chair next to me,
Where are the
or
beers?
in the seats. You know, the cup holders.
Then what do you need 2 for?
That way
So
I
he
don't
doesn't
have to get up.
Yeah, but there's beer delivery in the stadium.
This was back, before COVID when I didn't carry cash. Now
It's going to be interesting scoring a game now, I think.
It'll be tougher,
I love keeping score.
I love
It's
keeping
just
score.
it just makes me I just enjoy it,
Yeah.
and you have to pay attention to the game. So
I
it's
think-
just
I think
lot
for
of fun.
me, the in-stadium experience for baseball is better than TV because, like, I can't wait 4 hours between pitches on TV. I'm in my house. I'm gonna get distracted with something else that's going on. For me, the fact that the pace of the game was quite slow actually made it beneficial. I knew that I was going to 1 out of 162 games. If I didn't see absolutely every part of the game, it wasn't the end of the world. But Nate, to your point early on, you're there with your people. You're having a beer in a beautiful sunny stadium, and some sports happen every now and then. So for me, baseball is in stadium.
All right. Second half of Would You Rather. Would you rather go to a live NHL or a live NFL game? I think I know the answers from
NHL.
previous. Yeah.
NHL.
Yeah,
NHL all the
let
time.
me state this clearly. You could not pay me to go to an NFL game. Like
I think I've
like,
gone to my last
Thomas,
NFL game, honestly.
Yeah, like $300, no shot.
Yeah.
Like, no thanks.
I would go for free. I think if somebody gave me a ticket, I would go.
No, it costs time.
That's time that you're going to be spent at watching the game.
No, it's
I
not.
just, oh man,
because
I hate all the breaks.
you start
and,
it
like,
3 hours
the-
late and you fast forward through all the
TV
commercials
timeouts
if you
and-
even care to watch the game.
Oh, so brutal.
Yeah, you cannot
So
pay
brutal
me
live.
enough. Like, I mean, I would take if you wanted to pay me like $600, I'd go, but I wouldn't be paying any attention. I'd spend half of it on beer, and then I'd only get $300 when I got home anyway.
I think the
NFL's
last time I went, I got free club seats and I spent the whole time up in the club at like one of the tables drinking whiskey. Like, I don't know. I'm in Thomas's camp on that one. All right.
Nate,
Would
I
you
think
rather-
the last NFL game I went to was with you, Monday Night Football.
That Detroit game.
The Detroit game when KJ Wright tipped the fumble
Yeah.
out of Megatron at the back of the end zone. I think it was the last game I went to.
Cam
I was
Chancellor's
at
first game back.
I was at the Rams game on Thursday this year.
All right. Would you rather MLS or MLB?
MLB.
I know, Brian.
I mean, that's obvious.
This is a hard one.
It's a very hard one. For me, it is.
I'm just going to take a nap right now while you guys talk about this.
I'm not sure that I can pick between the two because they exist on two different spectrums, like I explained earlier. I love the digestible 215, 230 of the soccer game. I love soccer, so I get something out of it I think other people don't. There's nothing I'd trade for a weekday evening in the summer drinking beer with the boys, hearing Geno go yard. These exist on kind of two different spectrums for me, so I'm not sure I can answer that. I cherish them both.
Pick one, though.
All right, Thomas, I'm going to change it for you. Nate, I'm going to add something to this.
All right.
An MLS playoff game or an MLB playoff game?
MLB playoff.
Yeah, MLB playoff, I think, too.
I think in the MLB playoff game, every pitch is a game. And so I think I could enjoy that a lot more.
For me, the MLS and MLB is strictly my passion. Like, I am
You're a
so much
baseball
more
guy.
passionate about baseball, and
Yeah.
so it like gives a slight edge.
Yeah.
All right. So last one. Live NHL or live MLB?
NHL. Even
I think
riding the monorail. Classic joke.
I think it's MLB for me.
Oh wow, surprising. I think it's NHL for me. I honestly do think NHL is like the best live product.
It's very close to me, but I think because I haven't been to very many NHL games, I've only been to one. I'm going to my second one on Thursday. Very excited.
Yeah, we'll
But I
ask you on
think
Friday.
because I've only been to one and I've been going to Mariner games since I was 7 years old.
There is just something
Yeah.
nostalgic about going to a ball game.
Mhm.
Like I remember being in the Kingdom, picking up Subway on the way, and like eating my disgusting meatball Subway sandwich in the 300 level of the Kingdom. You know, getting scared, climbing up the ramps. Like,
Yep. I mean,
Yeah.
there's still some of those moments from my childhood. Like I was at the game where Mark McGuire hit the back wall of the Kingdom
Mm.
off of Randy Johnson.
I remember
I
watching
was
that on TV.
I got Cal Ripken's autograph in person when I was in high school in his last game at Safeco Field. Just some of the most seminal moments of my childhood involve baseball. And so I think for that, every time I see that field and how green that grass is and
Mm-hmm.
how big that outfield is, it just takes me back.
Yeah.
And I think that is the reason why that will always be my favorite place in Seattle is right behind Nate right now.
Oh.
And for me, in fact, the last time when I actually had sunflower seeds and 2 beers and was keeping score, I was probably sitting one section over from where that picture was taken.
No, I think
So where Brian's talking about is, if you're watching on YouTube, my background is Safeco Field. And
Brian, I think the last time you were eating sunflower seeds, drinking 2 beers, and keeping score was at Ron Regis.
well, Brian, I don't think there's any better way to say it than what you said. That was really great and really poignant. Thank you for letting us hear that.
That's good.
But I thought that was a really interesting Would You Rather.
Nate, very good job. Very good.
Yeah,
All right.
I think that's a great question because you're going to get a lot of different answers from different people with lots of different explanations, and it's not like really a polarizing thing. So get that in the comments. Let us know what you guys think. Which live product do you think is best, and which live product could you not be paid to go enjoy?
I mean, and you didn't even bring up, for me,
Yeah,
one of my college football, college basketball.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and if I would have done it, it would have been against each other, and I don't go to enough college football or basketball games, and so like I didn't feel like I could offer a quality opinion.
Yeah, I think for me, I would have gone back to my college experience because I went to a lot of basketball games and I went to a lot of football games at WSU, and the basketball teams were very good when I was there. That was the last two times they made the NCAA tournament. They actually made the Sweet 16 one year. And there's something about that place when it's full and when it's loud that it's just amazing, which it really hasn't been since that 2008 season. But
Gonzaga games right now.
Yeah, exactly. Gonzaga. But I think the same reason why I said baseball is why I would say college football. I've told you guys the story of, going onto the field with my grandpa in 94 onto Martin Stadium. So it's the same thing for me with college football, I think. So college football would definitely be high up on my list.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go to a college with a team, so like I don't have that nostalgia tied to it. That's why I always bring up like high school football for me, just because my high school team was really good, and that was a lot of fun. So
Georgia Tech football
ready for Tyson Zone?
Pretty bad when I was there, but basketball was pretty good. I was there when Jarrett Jack and Chris Bosh went from preseason NIT to postseason NCAA. I saw JJ Redick
made the national championship game.
I saw JJ Redick come in and drop a 3 at the buzzer and beat Georgia Tech. That was disappointing.
Ready for Tyson Zone?
Yeah, Tyson Zone.
Let me lead into it. I got to do the explanation, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna do it, but if you want to explain,
yeah, you can do it. That's cool.
Actually, I want to do it.
Go ahead, Nick.
No, I definitely don't.
Nate, lead me in.
All right. We are moving to a monthly Tyson Zone. We're going to feature it on the first recording of every month. And this month is today.
Yeah, it's the first recording of March. Tyson's Own, for those new listeners, it is named after boxer Mike Tyson. And basically, the reason why it's called the Tyson Zone is there is something going on, doesn't even have to be in the world of sports, where there's a specific person or group of people where any story you would believe about them is true. You could hear any story about Mike Tyson, and at least a little part of you would say, yeah, I could see that happening. And so that is why it is called the Tyson Zone of the month. We were doing it weekly, but now we are doing it monthly.
Well, what do you got?
It's kind of a sad situation. It is a huge fall from grace, but Ja Morant is my Tyson Zone of the month. Up even a couple of months ago, he was just this young superstar for an upstart team that, no one really thought Memphis would be doing anything the last few years. And they, they were the 2 seed in the Western Conference last year. And they are a very exciting team, very fun team to watch. And Ja Morant is their superstar. But what's been going on lately, it's just, I don't even know how to explain it.
Lots of
I
stuff.
mean, the most recent story is Colorado police are investigating him because he did an Instagram live video where he had a gun in
Traveling.
the Instagram live video.
So, number one, he was on the road. Number two, NBA does not allow players to carry guns, obviously. But like, it's concerning that he was on the road in a club with a gun, right? After the report came out that he smacked around a teenager and maybe flashed a gun, which is now believable, right?
Yeah.
There was like
got into an argument with Shannon Sharp on the sideline at a Lakers
during
game.
Hit one of his buddies was thrown out of the game, and then like they shot laser pointers at the visitor bus or something like that.
That was the Indiana Pacers. Yeah,
okay.
There was a laser, so it was a game against Indiana, and they had like lasers going into the team bus as they were leaving.
Yeah,
it's just crazy. Like, and all of these stories have been within the last 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, and the Alabama basketball player too. Like, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah, I this young man is 23, and we make mistakes, and unfortunately, I'm sure he's surrounded by people that do not have his best interests at heart, and I hope that his ability to take some time away and refocus will be used well. He's a very dynamic player. He does some really interesting things sometimes. He's pretty fiery. I can't say that he's my favorite player to watch just because of that, but I hope that he figures it out, because it would be really a real shame if something happened that took his talents away, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's already been suspended. It sounds like now he's been suspended indefinitely.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know when he's going to be coming back. Honestly, it's going to be a surprise to me if he plays at all this season anymore, which is a shame, because that team was doing some really good things, and they had a real chance to make the NBA Finals. Without him, they're still a good team, but they are not deep enough to make the NBA Finals without him.
Yeah, Ja Morant was actually my Tyson Zone too, so I'm glad you brought it up. It's a really interesting conversations you can have around the situation. What happens to a young player when they make it big, and their loyalties to their friends, and how that can be damaging, and like being a role model. I mean, I know that was it Barkley famously said, "I'm not a role model. Parents are role models," but like kids look up to these guys, and I hope that we can be better, going forward. I mean, we talked about the Alabama thing last week. I don't want the world to be robbed of some of these talents, and they're walking a pretty fine line when they're brandishing guns and stuff.
Well, and more than these individuals being robbed of their talents, it's a shame for people that misinterpret or try to follow their example, and worse things happen. I mean, flashing a gun is not cool by any definition. And all it's going to do is, encourage someone who was maybe going to do something. It's going to, it normalizes it, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not being very eloquent here, but it's not good.
Well, wasn't it Plaxico Burress that shot himself in the leg, like walking into a club or something like that? Like, there's just a lot of stupid shit that could happen. Like, don't put yourself in that situation.
Ben Roethlisberger didn't have a gun, but he got into trouble in that club too.
Gilbert Arenas, was flashing a gun in the locker room. It's just, it's something, unfortunately, that's been going on for forever in the sports world, and it's just...
it's something that's been going on in the real world for a long time. We just read about it in the sports world.
Yeah.
Did you guys see
a really good one
in the John Morant story the name of the club that he was arrested in?
Mm-mm.
Oh, and of course...
The Mile High Club?
No. Shotgun Willie's, which markets itself as a gentleman's club.
Oh, well, there you go.
There you go. Shotgun Willie's.
Didn't Pac-Man Jones, something happened to him in a gentleman's club in Vegas?
Probably.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't have... I mean, that's my Tyson Zone too. Thomas, did you have one?
I never prepare. I don't read enough about what's going on, except for the things that you guys point me to and the things I'm already interested in, for me to like constantly or even once per month come up with something interesting. So I apologize.
It doesn't have to be a sports one, Thomas. I mean, what are you reading about right now outside of sports that might be?
Yeah, I don't really read. The people that know me know that my life is more or less comprised of work and you guys and sitting around the house. How about the weather? It was cold, and then it was warm, and then it was wet, and now it's dry. Insane.
I did get a round of golfing yesterday.
It was beautiful yesterday. We got a bunch of fall cleanup or winter cleanup, kind of spring prep work done in the yard. It was awesome.
Played at Nile Shrine.
Where's that?
In Mount Lake Terrace. It's only about 5,000 yards. It's par 67. Shot an 86, so not too bad. But
not bad coming out of the winter.
And I had 39 putts.
That's too many putts, Brian.
I should have been right around 80. But yeah,
I was at Topgolf yesterday.
My irons were really good. I was kind of spraying my driver a little bit, but my approaches were money all day long.
Nice.
I had one drive in Topgolf that came off at 142 miles an hour and went 215 yards. I hit the back fence. First time ever.
I don't like Topgolf. I love going to Topgolf, but I hate the fact that I can't use my own clubs.
You can.
You can, but I don't.
You just have to not be so prideful that you don't walk in with your own clubs, which is a problem I don't have.
It's just the glove for me. Because usually when I'm playing Topgolf, I'm down in Portland or I was, in Vegas. And so I didn't have access to my clubs. Yeah. But it's not really the clubs that bother me. It's the glove. Because I'm always on the top deck and I always feel like I'm going to just throw the club because I don't have a glove on.
Okay. Ready for a random question?
Yes. By the way, halftime score, Gonzaga 43, San Francisco 35.
All right.
So it looks like if it keeps up, it is going to be a Gonzaga St. Mary's West Coast Conference championship.
Sweet. All right. We'll close it out with our random question brought to us by
faculty.washington.edu.
Okay.
What was your best birthday?
Oh, I think I got mine.
Go ahead, Nate. This one
I think this was 2018. My wife, Rachel, threw a surprise Letterkenny party at my favorite bar, and I had no idea it was going on. And she blindfolded me and drove around the block 7 or 8 times, and then said, "Hey, open your eyes," and like we were at, she's like, she told me we are going to dinner, right? And I was like, "Oh, you're taking me to Marco Polo for dinner? That's so cool! Like that's really generous. Like it's my favorite place." And I walk in, and all my friends are there, and there's unicorn headbands and uh really shit, and yeah, it was fun. For anybody who's not watched Letterkenny, it was actually super soft birthday party. So go watch that episode, season 1. But yeah, that was probably highlight of mine.
The cardboard cutout of the unicorn went back to my house and became a problem years later. So thanks for that. Yeah, mine, I forget if it was 20 or 21. Must have been 21. Because my birthday is in April, and so I'm kind of trying to time it based on COVID. It was 20 or 21, and I live in North Bend, and there's a small little theater here, and the theater was still closed. As everything that was indoors was still closed. So for my birthday, my wife took me out to dinner at our favorite restaurant here in town, and unbeknownst to me, had rented out the movie theater, and they'd put a custom message on the marquee. So we went driving by, and there was a funny little message on the marquee. And yeah, she basically had rented out the whole movie theater so we could get to watch whatever I wanted to on my birthday. And she had prepared ahead of time the DVD of Pootie Tang. So I went and got super blazed, and we were 2 people in an entire empty movie theater watching Pootie Tang on DVD, and it was fucking incredible. So thank you for
Awesome.
that experience.
Shout out Liz.
Shout out Liz.
I gotta find one thing really quick. So my worst birthday was in
Not the
1999.
question, but please continue.
I know. My worst birthday, well, it comes full circle. So my worst birthday was 1999 when Gonzaga lost to UConn in the Elite Eight on my birthday. I was 13, very impressionable, loved college basketball. Gonzaga was making their first run, and they lost on my birthday. My best birthday was 2015 when I actually got, as a birthday present, tickets to see the first round of the NCAA tournament here in Seattle, which Gonzaga was playing in. So it was Gonzaga against South Dakota State. Gonzaga won by 10, and it was just really cool that I was able to go see a team that I grew up watching and see them in the NCAA tournament. So it was a lot of fun. I saw all 4 games that day. I was severely hungover from the night before. I almost didn't make the first game. But it was definitely a memory that I will never forget.
Nice.
Gonzaga, if they play on my birthday, they always seem to lose. So that was the only time that they didn't. So it was nice. My birthday's in 2 weeks, by the way. So they're not playing on my birthday because it's on a Monday, which is good for me.
What day is your birthday?
The 20th. 2
Dude,
weeks from today.
I'm telling you, I don't know if it's like a horoscope thing, but like literally, this is not an exaggeration. Like 90% of my friends have birthdays, and I was about to say between like March 21st and like the end of April, and now I just got to come back one day and I get another one in there. Like all of my college friends, all of them.
So my high school baseball team, which had I think 15 players on it, 6 of us had birthdays between March 17th and March 27th.
That's so weird. Yeah,
Joe's birthday is March 4th. And
think 9-10 months before.
Yeah, I mean, the 3 of us are spread over 3 weeks.
Start of
Ryan,
summer.
You're first. I'm third. Nate's right in the middle. It's crazy.
When's your birthday, Thomas?
April 12th.
April 12th.
Nate's
Okay,
April
and Nate.
2.
Okay, yeah, we are right next to each other.
Yeah. Crazy. All right, boys. We got to get up out of here.
all right. Love you, buddies. Thanks
Appreciate everyone sticking to the end.
change,
Don't forget, especially if you've made it this far, you must either not be really listening that carefully, or maybe you just really, really like us. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. You can smash it or mash it or bosh it or whatever, but just making sure your computer recognizes that you've tried to hit it is the important part. We'll catch you on the next one.
Take it easy, y'all.
Recording stopped.
Recording stopped.
Oh.
Oh. You guys want to
Had
sign
some-
off the live stream, or should I just like end it unceremoniously? What do you think?
I think you signed off everybody, didn't you?
Oh, well then I should stop streaming. Bye, YouTube.